Hello everyone, welcome to this online lecture series of IC Engine. In this video lecture, we are going to cover numericals based on carburetors. So let us take a quick review about carburetors. Carburetor, it is a device which performs the process of carburation. So what is the carburation? The process of formation of air-fuel mixture by mixing proper amount of fuel with air before admission to the engine. So it is basically used in petrol engines only. So carburetor, it creates a mixture of air and fuel, and that mixture is supplied to the engine during its suction stroke. After suction, other strokes continue. Like after suction, there will be compression of charge, then there will be power stroke, and then there will be exhaust stroke. So function of carburetor is to create the charge or the air fuel mixture. So what is the idea behind the working principle of a carburetor? So that is a simple venturimeter. So when a fluid passes from upstream through a section with reducing area, so what happens? Its pressure energy reduces, kinetic energy increases. So because of reduction in pressure, so if I connect a manometer, due to reduced pressure, we get this manometer reading. So this H will be this pressure head or the loss of head. So similarly, in the carburetor we have a main venturi, then we have a throat, so that is the section of reducing area through which air is passed. So as air passes through the throat, what happens is pressure reduces. To compensate that, the fuel is introduced from the float chamber. We'll see an animation for that. So see here, so this is it's a venturi. This is the throat area. So what happens? So this is the throttle wall. This is the choke wall. So as this throttle wall is connected to the your accelerator. So as you increase your acceleration, throttle wall opening increases. As the opening increases, more air is drawn inside. As more air is drawn inside, its velocity increases, and consequently their pressure also reduces. As pressure difference increases, the more fuel is introduced into the fluid stream. So as you see in this animation, as the throttle opening increases, more fuel is introduced in the charge. So this is the basic how a carburetor works. We'll see now how to what is the formula for air fuel mixture for carburetor, how to derive it. That we'll cover first, and then we'll solve the numericals. So carburetor air fuel calculation, that is our title. So I'll just draw a simple carburetor. So first thing drawing the carburetor is venturi. It has a throat section. Consider this is the section with the minimum area. Now the fuel will be introduced with the help of a main jet. So we have a main jet. What I'm drawing here, it is, as you know, it is a float chamber. So what happened? This is the opening of the main jet, but the fuel level is always lower than the opening level. So this is the fuel level. Right? So this is a float chamber in which there is a float. So its function, as you know, to maintain the fuel level inside the float chamber. So whenever there is a decrease in fuel level, this needle will open this opening of fuel. So more fuel is drawn inside the float chamber. Once that level is achieved, it again closes the opening. So this is connected to strainer, right? And this is open to atmosphere. So atmospheric pressure acts on the float chamber. So this is the float. This is the float chamber. Okay. So this is a strainer, and here this is the, let us say this section has one AA, or you can say one. So air is drawn inside the carburetor, and here at the downstream we have throttle valve. Okay. So what happens as air passes here? There is a reduction in pressure. So due to that, as atmospheric pressure becomes greater than the pressure at the throat, it pressurizes fuel to be introduced inside the air stream. So the fuel comes inside the air stream, air and fuel mix together, and that air fuel mixture is taken out. Okay. So let us say this throat area, there is a section, let us say it is B, let's say 2. This fuel level, that is, let's say C, or section 3. This is a basic diagram I have drawn. Many parts may be missing from it, like idling system, but this is a like general schematic of a simple carburetor. So this is a simple carburetor. This is a throttle. Okay, this is a main jet. This is the throat. Okay. The amount of air to be taken inside is controlled with the help of throttle. As air velocity will increase, more fuel will be drawn inside the stream. So we'll get more fuel, and that mixture, air fuel mixture, is passed to the intake manifold from this section. So it goes to the intake manifold. So while calculating the air fuel ratio, so calculation of air fuel ratio, we have two methods. The first one, what we call it as approximate method. And second, we have exact method. See here. So we'll start with the approximate method. So what did it mean by approximate method? So what happens here, we are assuming flow as incompressible. So the flow is incompressible flow. Incompressible flow means the density of air will be constant. Okay. So whether you take section 1, section 2, section 3, all at all positions, at all sections, the density of air will be constant. So like for a steady and incompressible flow, we can apply Bernoulli's equation, right? So our main target is to find air fuel ratio. So air fuel ratio is equal to mass flow rate of air divided by mass flow rate of fuel. So first we'll start with mass flow rate of air, right? So I'll apply the Bernoulli's equation. So applying Bernoulli's theorem between section 1 and section 2. So let us give the annotation like pressure at 1 will be P1, pressure at P2 will be 2 will be P2. So like that I can write an equation. So that will be P1 divided by rho G plus So this is the pressure here at 1. So suppose there is some like uh, length or height difference may be L, so that we can consider. So plus velocity v1 square by 2g, and plus let us say that head also we take into account. L is equal to p2 by rho z plus v2 square by 2g. So see here, so at the inlet the velocity v1 compared to v2 it is far less. So we assume v1 is equal to 0. Also this L, that is the gravitational effect of gravitational forces, that also we assume it as 0. So neglecting effect of gravitational forces at Venturi. So we can ignore this L. So L will be 0. So what will the equation? I'll continue in the next slide. The equation will be P1 by rho z is equal to P2 by rho z plus V2 square by 2z. So I'll take the velocity head one side and keep the pressure head on the other side. So this will be P1 minus P2 divided by rho z. If I take only the velocity will be equal to, so this will be equal to 2 into P1 minus P2 divided by rho. So this rho is uh, density of air. So this is the steady incompressible flow. So that density will be constant at every point. So this will be the velocity. If I want to calculate the mass flow rate of air, so mass flow rate of air at throat. So this will be mass flow rate of air. This will be equal to density of air. Okay, rho AV. So area at section 2 into V means velocity of air at section 2. So if they give the coefficient of discharge, that is CD, that also we have to take into account. So CD rho AV. So here this will be CD into rho A into A2 into in bracket 2 into P1 minus P2 divided by rho A. Now if I take this rho A inside the square root bracket, so I have to take it square. So this will be simply CD into A2 into under root bracket. This will be rho A square. This row A is taken from the outside. So when it goes inside the square root bracket, so it will be rho A square. So P1 minus P2 divided by rho A. I'll continue on this side. So this will be mass flow rate of air is equal to CD into A2 into under root bracket 2 rho A P1 minus P2. P1 minus P2 is generally also called as pressure difference. So that is mass flow rate of air. Our next thing is to calculate mass flow rate of fuel. Okay. So similarly, I will apply the Bernoulli equation between 2 and 3. So let us go back to the diagram. So I will now apply the Bernoulli equation to the section 2 and section 3. So this fuel will come out into the throat section. So now I'll apply between the 2 and 3. So applying Bernoulli's theorem between 2 and 3, right? So what it will be? P2 by rho z plus V2 square. So here, as it is a fuel, so we'll give the annotation as Vf. So V suffix F. So that will be the velocity of fuel. Depending on the velocity at different sections, we can give the annotation. So like if it is at 2, that will be Vf2. If it is at Vf3, it is at 3, it will be Vf3. So it will be Vf2 square divided by 2g plus z. So what is z here? See again. So whatever the height difference we get here, that height difference is termed as z. So that will be z equal to p3 plus rho z plus vf3 square divided by 2z. Right? See here in the diagram, velocity at 3, that is at the fuel level. So that will be 0. Right? And P3, so pressure at 3, so this pressure is nothing but the atmospheric pressure, that is nothing but the P1. So this pressure acts on this fuel, so P3 is nothing but the P1. So here Vf3 is as negligible as 0 and P3 is nothing but your P1. So this equation will reduce to P2 by rho z plus Vf2 square divided by 2z plus z equal to P1 by rho z plus 0. Now our main target is to find out Vf2. So Vf2 I'll take on one side, Vf2 square by 2z equal to P1 minus P2 divided by rho z minus z. Or I can write Vf2 is equal to, so this will be P1 minus P2 divided by rho f. So remember this rho f is the density of fuel. Okay, so this will be rho f, rho f, rho f, rho f minus g z. I'll continue this part here. So Vf2 is what we are derived at p under root p1 minus p2 divided by rho f minus g z. Now our next target is to find out the mass flow rate of fuel. So mass flow rate of fuel. So that mass flow rate of fuel, it will be again mf into, let us say that coefficient of discharge at the main jet, that is CDF, into rho f into area of the main jet into its velocity. So that will be Vf2. So this will be equal to CDF into rho f into f into under root bracket P1 minus P2 divided by rho f minus gz. If I multiply by this rho f into the square root bracket, so this will reduce to into, so this will be m dot f is equal to CDF into rho f into af into under root bracket. So this will be So here it will be 2. Okay, so this will be 2 rho f into in bracket p1 minus p2 minus gz rho f. I'll write very neatly on the next slide. So for now we have derived equation for mass flow rate of air. So that we have derived it as A2. So CD A, that is the coefficient of discharge for air, into A2 into in bracket P1 minus P2 into 2 rho A. And for fuel, we have derived it as CDF, that is the coefficient of discharge for fuel, into AF into in bracket 2 rho F P1 minus P2 minus GZ rho F. So now our objective or aim is to find out air fuel ratio. So that is nothing but mass flow rate of air divided by mass flow rate of fuel. So this will be equal to CDA into A2 into in bracket 2 rho A P1 minus P2 divided by CDF into AF into in bracket, so that will be 2 rho F P1 minus P2 minus CZ rho F. So I'll just write it, simplify this equation. So this will be CDA divided by CDF, ratio of coefficient of discharge into ratio of areas. A2 is area of the throat, AF is the area of the main jet. So into, I'll make a big square root bracket. Under this there will be density of air divided by density of fuel into P1 minus P2 divided by P1 minus P2 minus GZ rho F. So this is the equation for air fuel ratio. If you are going with approximate analysis means we are assuming the density of air as constant. So this is the equation for air fuel ratio if you are assuming density of air constant, that is the approximate analysis. So in this, see, if I neglect the nozzle tip, so neglect head, if I neglect that small height, again that air fuel ratio will reduce to CDA divided by CDF. So here this, if this is becomes 0, what will happen? P1 minus P2 divided by P1 minus P2, that will be 1. So this will be into A2 by AF into under root bracket rho A divided by rho F. This is only when we neglect the Z. So that means Z is equal to 0. So this is the equation we have derived. Next we'll see exact analysis. So we have seen the approximate method. Next we are going to see the exact method. So exact method, what it means, so we are assuming the air as compressible. So in approximate method, the air was we assume it as incompressible. In exact method, so air will be compressible. So this will contain compressible air, right? From compressible air means the density of air at 1 it will be different, at 2 it will be different, at 3 the density of air will be different. So compressible air, that means density of air is not constant, right? So our main objective here is to find out air fuel ratio, equation for air fuel ratio, so that we know that mass flow rate of air divided by mass flow rate of fuel. So our first part is to calculate mass flow rate of air, right? Now see here, uh, so we have to apply again. So in this case, we cannot apply the Bernoulli's equation because Bernoulli's equation is applicable to only steady and incompressible flow. Here we have a compressible air, so here we cannot apply that. So, but we can apply the SFE equation, that is the steady flow energy equation. Energy equation here, that is the SFE. So, applying steady flow energy equation, that is SFE between 1 and 2, section 1 and 2. So this will be, that H1 enthalpy at 1, enthalpy at 1 plus the velocity at 1, that is V2 V1 square by 2, right, plus the heat losses, plus if any potential energy or kinetic energy head we are considering, that will be G into L equal to H2 plus V2 square by 2 plus any work done. Now see here, in this case, assuming isentropic flow, that gives you Q equal to 0. Again, this is just a Venturi pipe, so a flow passes through it, so no work is done in this case. So work is also 0 in this case. Also, we are assuming that velocity, that is incoming air, nearly equal to 0, or we can say that as it is very less compared to velocity at the outlet, we can say that V1 equal to 0. Again, we can neglect that potential energy heads, so that term, that G into L, that will be 0. So this will reduce to, H1 is equal to H2 plus V2 square by 2. We'll solve in the next slide. So we had the equation H1 is equal to H2 plus V2 square by 2. So V2 will be equal to under root, this will be 2H1 minus H2. Okay. Now mass flow rate, the equation mass flow rate of air, so that will be rho A. Now we are going to find out the mass flow rate at the throat. So density in this case it will vary. So this will be rho A2 into A2 into V2 into the coefficient of discharge for air, that is the CDA at the throat. So this will be CDA into density of air at 2 into A2 into the velocity that we just derived, that is 2 into H1 minus H2. See, this equation could have ended here, but if you want to simplify it further, we have to start with V2. Now see, we'll first simplify the equation for V2. So V2 is equal to, as we have derived, 2 into H1 minus H2. So H we can write it enthalpy as Cp, that is specific heat at constant pressure, into temperature. So V2 will get, V2 is equal to 2 Cp into T1 minus T2. Okay. So for isentropic flow, we know that T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. That is the index, gas index, right? So from this equation I can write T2 is equal to T1 into P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. If I want to take T1 minus T2, so that uh, will be T1 minus T1 into in bracket 1 minus P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma bracket complete. So I'll put that in the equation of velocity. Okay, here. So velocity will now reduce to under root 2 Cp into T1 into in bracket 1 minus P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. Here's the equation for V2. Now see here for the row A2, so that the density at throat. Okay. How to calculate first the density at the inlet? So at section 1, if I want to calculate the density, right? So I can apply ideal gas equation. So that is a PV is equal to MRT or M divided by that is the density. So P is equal to rho RT. So the density will be equal to P divided by RT. So density, if I want to calculate it section 1, so that will be rho A1 equal to P1 divided by R divided by T1. So that is the density I can easily calculate at the section 1. What about rho A2? So for that I have to apply the equation for isentropic flow. So like for isentropic flow, you know that P1 raised to gamma is equal to P2 raised to gamma. This also can be written as P1 divided by rho 1 raised to gamma is equal to P2 divided by rho 2 raised to gamma. So from here I can calculate the rho 2. So that will be equal to rho 1 into P2 by P1 raised to 1 upon gamma. This I want to calculate for this in this case for air. So that will be rho A2 equal to rho A1, P2 by P1 raised to 1 upon gamma. So now I'll put all these values in the main equation, that is for the mass flow rate of air. Let us see what we get. So mass flow rate of air will be at throat. So this will be rho A1 into P2 by P1. So this is the expression for rho A2 into A2 area at the throat. Into I'll write the equation for velocity. So that we know 2 Cp into T1 into in bracket 1 minus P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma bracket complete square root complete. Now for the mass flow rate of fuel. So mass flow rate of fuel at throat. So that is m dot f. Now say here fuel, as it being liquid, it is incompressible. So we can apply the Bernoulli's equation here and we can obtain the velocity. So already we have obtained that velocity in the previous sections, right? So this equation what we got for the fuel, so I will use the same equation again. So what I got in that case, it was a CDF into AF into in bracket 2 rho F into P1 minus P2 minus ZZ rho F, right? Air was compressible, so we cannot use Bernoulli's equation there. But fuel being compressible and steady, we can apply the Bernoulli's equation and we can obtain the formula. Our objective, that is the air fuel ratio, so that will be equal to mass flow rate of air divided by mass flow rate of fuel. This will be equal to rho A1 into P2 by P1 raised to 1 upon gamma into A2 into in bracket 2 Cp T1 into bracket 1 minus P2 by P1. I know it is being a bit lengthy. Divided by mass flow rate of fuel. So that is so in this case I forgot to multiply by CDA, that is coefficient of discharge. So this will be here CDA into that equation divided by CDF into AF is the area at the opening of the main jet into under root bracket 2 rho F P1 minus P2 minus GZ rho F. So this is the equation I get for the carburetor with exact analysis. I can simplify this further also. So this will be like what? This will be rho A1 into P2 by P1 into 1 raised to 1 upon gamma raised to 1 upon gamma. Yeah, into CDA into divided by CDF into A2 divided by AF and into that square root. So this will be again very big bracket root 2 Cp T1 to under root bracket 1 minus P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma bracket complete, and in denominator there will be 2 rho F into bracket P1 minus P2 minus GZ rho F. So you can cancel 2 and you can write another equation. So this I can consider the air fuel ratio with exact analysis. Say in case of carburetors, the diameter of main jet is in the order of 2 to 3 mm. So it is advised you go with exact analysis. In the your examinations, it will be clearly mentioned that solve it by the exact analysis. Even if it is not mentioned, they will mention that air is compressible or it is incompressible, and or they will give the density value directly. That means air is incompressible and that value is given to you. So in next we'll solve the numericals.